Good evening and welcome to the annual Salem R-80 School Board Candidate Forum. We thank each of our candidates for filing and for taking an interest in leading the district. The election is Tuesday, April 4th, and 3 candidates will be elected to the board. Tonight, we have most of our candidates represented. We do want to note that candidate Greg Moravec is not present due to an obligation for law enforcement leadership training this week in Jefferson City. We thank him for his continued service with the Highway Patrol. Welcome candidates for the board: Brett Bailey, Drew Howard, Calvin Malone, Brian Mink, Marjorie Pyatt, and Andrew Wynn. Let's begin. We appreciate your time and thank you for participating in this event. Friends of William Lynch started this forum a couple years ago to allow candidates to speak directly to the voters. The forum will be conducted as follows. Each candidate will be allowed 3 minutes to present an opening statement. We want to remind you of a 5-minute time limit to answer each question. The timekeeper will help you with that countdown. Following the statements, candidates will be allowed 3 minutes for closing statements. Okay, we'll start with Brett for opening statements.
My name is Brett Bailey, and my wife Tatum and I are Salem natives. We have 3 children: Keegan's 12, Crew's 7, and Canyon's 4. We've basically lived in Salem our entire lives, and we love our small community. I enjoy hunting, going on side-by-side rides, camping, and just spending time with family and being outdoors. I've been employed with the Doe Run Company for 16 years, and recently I started managing a healthcare company right here in Salem, Holloman Care Companies. I would like to join others to help bring common sense solutions to our district. Our children are the future, and I believe it is very important to instill strong work ethic and basic morals to our future leaders. Together, we can make it our goal that every student graduates and is on the path to lead successful life.
Thank you. Drew?
My name is Drusilla Howard. First of all, I just want to say thank you to the Friends of William Lynch for allowing us to be here and for taking time out of your lives to do this forum. So I think it's extremely helpful and appreciated by the community. Like I said, my name is Drusilla Howard. I am a lifelong Salem resident. I am married to my husband Dustin, and we live here in town on our farm with our children Cash, who is a sophomore at Salem High School, and Josie, who is in 8th grade at Salem Middle School. I graduated from Salem High School in 1999. I then attended Drury University, where I got my degree in accounting, and then went on to get my master's in business administration from Southwest Baptist University. I'm currently employed by Town and Country Supermarkets, where I've been for almost 18 years. I have 18 years plus years experience in finance and accounting, and I'm currently serving as the Chief Financial Officer for the supermarkets. In addition to that, when I'm not running around and attending kids' activities in my free time, I serve as a member of the Dent County University of Missouri, Extension Council board member, as well as on the Salem Memorial Hospital Foundation board. I also co-chair the Back to School Fair here in Dent County as well, and I organize the Lunch Angels program here in Dent County, which, if you're not aware, provides financial support for all 5 districts here in the county for students who have overdue lunch accounts, so they are not penalized for that, and they can have a hot meal at school every single day. So I'm running for school board because I have a vested interest in our district and our community, and I want to see our students succeed and have the same opportunities that I had as a graduate of Salem High School.
Thank you. Calvin?
Excuse me, my name is Calvin Malone. I'm a 98 graduate from the high school. My wife's name is Julie. We both actually work for Phelps Health and do similar jobs. I have 2 boys, Kason and Colby. Kason is a freshman at the high school. Colby is a 6th grader at the middle school. In my spare time, I enjoy hunting, fishing, everything Dent County has to offer. I coach middle school basketball. I'm actually the 6th and 7th grade coach at the school. That takes a lot of my time, and that is actually where my interest for school board came from. You know, I'm being in and out of a building every day. You speak to a lot of teachers, and you see a lot of needs within the school, just within the facility side, and that's given me a unique experience and kind of outlook on having formed my own opinions on where we need to head and that's my biggest reason for running. I'm also a member of First Baptist Church in Salem, where I serve in all of our youth programs, everything I can. So stay busy with the kids all the way around, and I appreciate your vote.
Thank you. Brian?
I'm Brian Mink, probably one of the few that's not a Salem graduate. Moved out here 19 years ago from Eastern Kentucky, supported Salem and the district from day one. Married to Candy Mink. I've got a sophomore in high school, Layton, 7th grader, which is Colton, and I got a graduate from Salem, Ashton, who attends State Tech for nursing. Wanted to run for school board because I see that I think the district needs some help, and I think I can help them out.
Thank you. Marjorie?
My name is Marjorie Pyatt. I'm a Christian. I want to live that life out the best I can with grace and with compassion and with wisdom. I want God's best for us. I'm a wife, a mother of 5. I have 9 grandchildren, and 3 of those grandchildren are in Salem, R-80. I want the best for my family, just as you do. I'm a farm kid. I grew up on a farm in Northeast Missouri. I went to a small rural school, and then the county reconsolidated into a countywide high school. I graduated from there. I was educated and grew up in a farming community, and I know what farm life is all about. I'm a retired Salem R-80 high school English teacher. I have a BS in literature and English from the University of the State of New York, and I have a BS in education from Rolla, from UMR. I've been a teacher, and I am a teacher. I teach in my church. I teach where I'm asked to go as a guest speaker. And I want a good education for the students in Salem R-80. I want the best education for them. I'm a friend. I have lots of friends who have gone through my classes, and I love seeing them and visiting with them and knowing that they have come to stay in Salem and that they want to live and work here. I want them to have the best in Salem, and I want their children to have the best in Salem. I've lived in Dent County for 40 years. I love this area and I love the people. And whenever we travel, I'm always happy to be back home. And I think that the Ozarks are the most beautiful of destinations, and I want the best for Dent County. I'm an encourager, and whether I cheer for the district from the sidelines or cheer for the team, whether I'm in the game, I want the best for us. I want the best for us. And that's who I am. Marjorie Pyatt.
Thank you. Andrew?
My name is Andrew Wynn, 2001 graduate from Salem High School. Went to college at Southern Illinois University, got my degree there. Married to my wife, Catherine. We have 2 children in the district currently. Evie is in 4th grade and Sadie is in kindergarten. We enjoy everything about this place too. We also enjoy camping and traveling and staying active. I help coach a couple of our daughters, softball, basketball, etc. Currently on the school board and thoroughly enjoy it. I really do. Love giving back, love being part of the decision processes for our students, and that's, I'd like the opportunity again. Thank you.
Okay, so we're going to start with the first question, and that's going to start with Drew. So the question is, what skills or traits do you have that will contribute to effective operations of the board as a whole?
Thank you. So I think the most important skills that I possess that would contribute to the effective operation of the board would be my commitment, my experience, and my professionalism. And I'll start by expanding on my commitment first. I am a big supporter of successful outcomes for our students. And I want to make the commitment to advocate for the educational needs of all students in the district. And I think that starts with focusing the appropriate amount of time and attention on education and initiatives that support academic excellence, and student achievement in our district. In regards to experience and professionalism, over the past 20 years, I have had the opportunity to serve on numerous boards in this community in either a voluntary or professional capacity. I know the specifics of what a school board is supposed to do and represent. The school board is responsible for setting policy. They are responsible for approving the budget. They are responsible for setting goals and then evaluating those outcomes. They also are responsible for being a liaison to the community, which I think I can help expand on as a board member. They also have direct oversight over one employee, so I feel that I could bring, expand on the communication and with, administrators and the superintendent in the district to help make sure that the goals and the policies that are set are communicated through all levels. I also think that it would be important to encourage collaboration between the board, the community, the educators, and I'm going to make a statement real quick, but when I refer to educators, I'm talking about teachers, I'm talking about support staff, I'm talking about administrative staff. I'm using an inclusive word there, so I don't want to leave anybody out. So I'm going to use teachers or educators, and I'm talking about anyone that comes in contact with the students in the building, because they're all part of that educational process. So, I think a position on the board and my experience would allow me to help collaborate between the community, the administration, the teachers, and the staff, and encourage that to pull from the expertise and the experience of those that work directly with students in the classroom, and use that in goal setting for the district.
Thank you. Calvin, what skills or traits do you have that will contribute to effective operations of the board as a whole?
I think my top skill is listening. Similar to what we're doing now, sitting around a table, talking about ideas. Every once in a while, someone has a better idea than me. And, the ability to listen to that, whether it's someone in the community or a peer on the board, is essential. Not being bullheaded about everything. Obviously, I'll have convictions I feel strongly about that I won't budge on, but this is a team thing, and I would piggyback leadership on that. Running a business, you're your own boss. I mean, you're the leader of an organization and what you do, and I've done that. Whether it's coaching, business, just stepping up and making decisions, and feeling strongly about them and standing behind them once you make them. At the same time, I'll admit when I'm wrong. The board doesn't always get things right. When I'm out in the community, people talk. And I think it's important to be transparent in how we present things. And so I would say communication is the next step. Not only will I listen, I'm going to communicate a vision and hopefully do it well enough that we can get things done.
Thank you. Brian, what skills or traits do you have that will contribute to effective operations of the board as a whole?
Well, I value everyone's opinion, and I've worked in like hostile situations as an official. People screaming and hollering at you all at the same time, and you still got a job to do, is to make sure that game is done right and did the correct way, and just valuing people's opinions on on different things, but I will stand firm on what I believe in. And not that, you know, I'm not gonna get someone to buy my vote by no means, but I will listen to everyone else's opinions and you know, I value.
Thank you. Marjorie, what skills or traits do you have that will contribute to effective operations of the board as a whole?
Well, the first thing I think of is my experience as a teacher. I think the board needs to have that perspective. Also, I understand the importance of goal setting, of motivation, of appreciation of others. And I am an encourager. I recognize the importance of listening with respect. And even if I don't agree, I look for the best in others. And I'm willing to listen to other points of view. I'm a team player. I realize that the board does not act as individuals, but as a team of dedicated individuals with the same focus. I bring my best understanding with me of the application of fairness, honesty, respect, wisdom, and integrity.
Thank you. Andrew, what skills or traits do you have that will contribute to effective operations of the board as a whole?
I think the first thing that comes to my mind regarding myself in that matter would be reasoning. You know, lots of decisions to be made on the school board. You know, working through issues, making those big decisions for the district. I serve on multiple councils, committees throughout the county and town, and I always try to play devil's advocate on every decision that I make, and communicating those with other fellow board members and things of that nature. But yeah, I think the reasoning aspect, what I would say.
Thank you. Brett, what skills or traits do you have that will contribute to effective operations of the board as a whole?
I believe a skill that I have, or a trait, would be I have a strong work ethic. And having the mindset that no job is too big applies to many aspects of the board. I'm also a huge supporter of communication and integrity. The board should operate as a team. How can a team be effective and efficient if it don't communicate properly and with honesty and well intentions?
Thank you. So for the next question, we'll start with Calvin. What do you believe is the most pressing issue the district is currently facing?
Definitely facilities. You know, everyone's talked about William Lynch for a very long time, and you know, we've seen little movement on it, and you know, it's just about time with that building. When I go into middle school, I've seen ceiling tiles with water stains all over the place, a mildew smell in the building. I've even seen a bucket catching drips on a hallway. I've been told the high school's the same way. I haven't seen that. Our kids deserve better. They deserve a good place to go to school, a clean place to go to school. There's just a lot of it's not pleasant. When we're at basketball practice, I mean, there are spots on the floor in the gym and in the middle school that balls we're actually afraid are going to go through the floor. I mean, it's just not good. It all needs a facelift, but we need to start with the elementary school. Secondly, a lot of things come up about teacher pay. That's a tough hurdle, but I think there are things we can do to help that as well in regard to just making our school a better place to work overall, kind of give that job quality a boost as well. But I think our number one issue to tackle at the moment is definitely facilities.
Thank you. Brian, what do you believe is the most pressing issue the district is currently facing?
Well, the turnaround rate with teachers, administration, and you know, support staff. You know, you can't really get a relationship with so many teachers that they're gone the next year. And I think we need to look in how we can keep those teachers without them, you know, looking elsewhere to go. But definitely turnaround rate.
Thank you. Marjorie, what do you believe is the most pressing issue the district is currently facing?
Public School Review, that is an independent ranking of school districts, says that Salem R-80 has a 3 out of 10 test ranking score. It says that we are in the bottom 50% of public schools in the state of Missouri. It says that the average math proficiency score is 24%. It says that the reading proficiency score is 42%. And test scores and ranking, I think, is directly connected to teacher retention and effectiveness. Experienced teachers are definitely a priority. We have to make experienced teachers our first priority. Another thing, teacher retention, encouragement, and focused training should be priorities for our finances. Our finances, it seems to me, and just from, not from firsthand experience, but from what I'm reading and hearing, is that the football team, and I love football, and I love winners, but it appears to me, and I think to the public in general, that football is a priority. And in the face of these test scores, which are the indicator of how our students are doing, how our students are taking into their lives skills in math, skills in understanding what they're reading, that's where the money needs to go. I think we've spent enough, I love football, I think we've spent enough on it, and the focus needs to shift dramatically. We need to take care of business. We're educators, let's educate.
Thank you. Andrew, what do you believe is the most pressing issue the district is currently facing?
This question could be answered twofold, I think. Oddly enough, I thought everybody was going to hit the teacher pay thing, so I had something else. That would be, I mean, probably a big platform. We do live in a demographic area that is a struggle sometimes. But I think I also put in my newspaper comments that the disparity is real and it has to be addressed. It's not easy. Lots of people think that school districts just can print money and do whatever they want, and it's not the case. So that is a big one for me, which will kind of turn into the last question that we go over here in a few minutes. The other one, my backup answer, this is the only time I'm going to say the C word because I'm over COVID. But making academics and education attractive to our students again. There's been, since 2020, there was a drop-off or lack in some accountability. The standards got not put to the wayside, but we got lax, some in my opinion, especially, for my 3 years I served on the board, and just, getting our attendance back up is huge for our APR, and making that education experience important for the students again would be a very big one for me.
Thank you. Brett, what do you believe is the most pressing issue the district is currently facing?
Man, so I think there's hurdles in just about every different entity when it comes to the district, I believe. But building off of what the district's already doing, we're doing a good job. Some people will argue that, but I think everybody has our kids, well-being, their safety, their future. They all have that in mind. But you could go off of facilities. Like Calvin said, the William Lynch. It's a tragedy there. But there's a lot of different things. I believe that teamwork is a big thing, and teamwork comes from all different angles. You know, you got teamwork from administrators and the board and the community, but I think with teamwork we can excel further. One or two people cannot effectively make all the decisions for our district. It takes a village to raise children, I think, and I believe it takes the same village to educate them. It's one person looking out for another. And the board should, and I believe they do, but with teamwork, I think the board should take the input from all faculty, all staff, as Drew said, you know, the educators, everyone combined, and the community into consideration. Input from every angle. When there is an issue, I think working together as a team to correct and to communicate that issue is a great way to add strength, pride, and support for the board, for the district. So not following through with solutions will cause the board, cause the district, will cause the board to lose support, and ultimately it'll weaken our district. So setting goals, solutions, and communication all combined with teamwork, I think that's a big issue.
Thank you. Drew, what do you believe is the most pressing issue the district is currently facing?
So in my personal opinion, the most pressing issue at this time is recruiting and retaining effective teachers and staff, educators. And as someone who is innately focused on improving educational outcomes, I think it's important to understand the direct impact that high rate of turnover has on our students before addressing the next question, which we'll go into more detail there. So, you know, there's been study after study that has shown that there is a direct correlation and a negative impact that teacher turnover, especially in core subject areas, and Marjorie touched on this in pretty good depth, so I won't go into that, but it directly impacts student success and academic performance. You know, in addition to that, excessive turnover, it is bad for morale for other educators, teachers, staff in the district. And just from a strictly HR standpoint, because that's where I come from a lot, it's expensive. It's more expensive to recruit, hire, and train new educators and staff year after year after year. So, you know, not that the district should ever strive to completely eliminate turnover, and not that educators, administrators, staff shouldn't be held accountable and have high expectations for them, but we have to continue to promote professional development, to promote continued education for our educators so they can be effective where they're at to the best of their ability, and to you know, positively impact student success.
Thank you. So for the next question, we'll start with Brian. What do you believe the school or schools should do to retain highly effective teachers?
Well, I mean, you know, everyone wants more pay, and I guess, you know, you have to look into how we get that more pay, how to retain that teacher, because, you know, you're going to go where the money's at. Mm-hmm. And, you know, as an official, I've been around several schools, small schools, and they have way more than what we have. And you can't, you know, we're a bigger town, mm-hmm. but they're way smaller and still have way more than we do. Their teachers stay to their retirement. They don't have much of a turnover rate. And I think we need to look into that to see how we can keep our teachers and you know, just make them happy, mm-hmm. you know, instead of walking on eggshells.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Marjorie, what do you believe the school should do to retain highly effective teachers?
Salary, salary, salary. Bring the base up to a competitive figure. Increase the steps overall. Put your money where your mouth is. We talk about salary. You know, how many years have we been talking about the poor teacher salaries? Well, let's do something about it. In 2024, the school year 2024 to 2025, the House Bill 433 comes into effect. That means that beginning teachers will start at $38,000. So everybody above that who has more experience doesn't Not everybody makes that salary. So what the board has to do, what the district has to do, is to get right on it and start bringing that up, because the state is going to kick in. It's those new first-year teachers are going to be making 38. Everybody all the way up to the next step, the next level, is not making that much. There's going to be complete chaos among people who see first and second year teachers coming in and they make more, and then they're required to what? Train and mentor and bring those along. It's just not fair. We have to get on it. There's no two ways about it. We have to get on it. Another way that we can retain effective teachers is appreciation. Let teachers know that they're appreciated. Give them some incentives when they do well. Establish relationships with them. Have a luncheon, have breakfast, do something to give them an attaboy, and then everybody, all the board and whoever all the way up and down the line, has a chance to get to know who is teaching and what they're teaching. It's a relationship thing. Teachers won't be discontent if they know who they can talk to, if they have direct access to somebody who's in authority over them, not just their own principal, but right straight up the line. If there's something wrong, teachers, if they have a relationship with somebody, they'll talk about it. They'll tell you. And then that's where something needs to happen. Another thing that can be done is show up. And I believe that the board is interested in all the sports activities and everything, but there are other things. There's quiz bowl. There's what goes on at the elementary when they put on their show. There's all kinds of things that the board could be involved in, and that the leadership of the district could be involved in, and be interested in teachers. Do we even know who they are and what they teach? That would be a good homework assignment for the board. Find out who the teachers are, find out what they teach, and find out what's going on with them. I know there are lots of teachers, but if we at least knew some of them, department heads especially, who could actually tell you exactly what's going on, they would feel that they had some input, and I think they need that. Another thing is that if we had exit interviews when teachers leave, we could talk to them about why they are leaving. They could give us some pointers and help us to understand what we could do better the next time. We need to listen to teachers. We need to listen to them. I've had many teachers tell me that they feel totally isolated in their classrooms, like they're at it all by themselves. Well, nobody should feel that way. In a good work environment, people are communicating with each other. They feel free to talk to their administrators. They even feel free to talk to the board about something that's happening that could be done better. There's more than one channel of influence that could really help the board to do a better job, to do the best job they possibly could. And really the focus is to do the best for students that we actually could do. And I believe that's possible. Listen to them. And then let's bring up the scores that show that effective lifelong learning skills are being learned. We can do it, but we cannot do it without teachers. Teachers need to be retained. They need to be paid. They need to be encouraged. They need to understand that they are important. And I think a lot of times teachers feel like they're the last to even hear what's going on with the district. If they hadn't read it in the paper, they wouldn't have known it. Where's the communication? It's frustrating to people who've made a life work of teaching students, and they don't even know what's going on in their own district. They want to know, but they don't, because nobody's talking about it. Nobody's emailing, nobody's texting, nobody's giving, nobody's in the building, walking the aisle. Nobody's visiting classrooms. I know that principals are, but what about the board? What about all the rest of the people who are supposed to be on top of it? we need to be in it as a team with the teachers, with the students. It should come right back, it should come right up. We should be concerned about parents and families, about the students, about the teachers, and about the everybody who touches those kids. It should be all about the staff all the way up the line, all the way through the board. Everybody is a team, and they need to feel like they are. Mm-hmm. They need to understand that they're important. And then when that happens, when those last 3 years come and teachers experienced, dedicated teachers are ready to retire, what happens? They go to Springfield, they go to Waynesville, they go to Rolla. The best of us, at the best of our powers, are off to somewhere else. If the pay was there, they would stay. Mm-hmm. And we need to be aware of it. We need to pay attention.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Andrew, what do you believe the school should do to retain highly effective teachers?
Well, Marjorie stole a bunch of my answers. My answer to that's pretty elementary, pun intended. But it's the old golden rule of treat others how you want to be treated. And that flows into everything, from the superintendent down to any staff or any educator we have with our district. And in that, what's really been on my mind as of late has been communication from the top down. If people feel valued, yes, there are going to be opportunities elsewhere in people's lives all the time. But if they feel valued, if they feel heard, if things are communicated properly from all the channels, even if there's an opportunity for more pay somewhere, they might feel a little more tied to the district and stay with us. If we listen, we communicate well on anything that impacts their employment and their livelihood.
Thank you. Brett, what do you believe the school should do to retain highly effective teachers?
Did you get mine? Marjorie, did you get my notes?
Did you?
Copyright. I believe we have some of the best teachers ever right here in Dent County. That being said, if we don't recognize that, we're going to lose them. Competitive teacher salary should be a big concern for our district, and I believe it is. I believe that it is a concern. Finding a solution, there's multiple solutions, so pinpointing down which ones are effective, which ones aren't, that's a little harder. But raising base salaries and compensating new teachers is a fantastic move to attract new teaching staff. I also believe in fairly compensating senior teachers not only sends a message of appreciation, feeling appreciated, but it also incentivizes good teachers to stay longer through the whole ride, whatever it may be. But fair and competitive wages and solid benefits. You can't give one thing and take something else away. It's got to be the total package. And I think fair and competitive wages and solid benefits are crucial to attracting and maintaining a strong group of faculty and staff. Everyone wants a decent wage, and they should get it.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Drew, what do you believe the school should do to retain highly effective teachers?
Sure. So I think, what do I want out of my job? What do any of us want out of our job? We want to feel valued and we want to feel appreciated. And in my opinion, we can do that, in the short term in two very specific ways. One is obviously compensation. We're not competitive with districts surrounding us, and even some districts in our own county. We're simply not. We have a teacher turnover issue. I looked up today on the DESE website and looking at districts in our county and surrounding districts. We're not alone. We're certainly not the worst. We're definitely not the best when you look at 3-year retention rates for districts. But bringing compensation in line with other districts, so educators that are loyal, and I believe there's a lot of educators in our district, I've talked to several of them, they stay despite the uncompetitive wages because they feel a loyalty to our community and they feel a loyalty to the students that they have seen grow up and they've educated throughout their careers. So we definitely need to make sure that we're appreciating and compensating those teachers that have affected outcomes for so many years as much as we are new teachers. And Marjorie touched on that as well. I think our budget has to reflect that we feel that that is important. Budgets are tight. They're tight everywhere. They're complicated. They're not fun. They're kind of fun for me. I geek out on stuff like that. But anyway, but they're not fun. It's hard. Personal budgets are hard. Business budgets are hard. But we have to make sure that when we're spending dollars, that it shows that our priorities are retaining educators. Again, like I mentioned in my last question, the answer to my last question, it's important to me because that directly affects student outcomes, and that is the most important thing to me. So again, compensation number one, but number two is to create, and I've said collaborative about 20 times already tonight, but to create a more collaborative environment between the board, the community, the administrators, and especially the teachers and the staff in the districts who are the experts. They are on the front lines day in and day out. They know our students, they know our children, they know how to effectively educate. I'm not an expert, I'm not an educator. I never will be. It was never one of my gifts. I know when I don't have the ability to be an expert in something, then I seek advice and counsel from those who do. So I think it's important to rely on our educators that have been here for years and that are already effective to help us determine what the goals of the district should be, to help set those goals, to help make sure that they're measurable, to make sure they're attainable, and that they're realistic for the set of circumstances that we have in front of us right now. If you allow educators to participate in that and to help set goals, twofold. One, they feel appreciated. We're utilizing their expertise, what they're highly educated and trained to do, to make sure that we're on the right track in making decisions, number one. But we also, we get buy-in. If you're setting goals, you are far more invested in achieving those goals together than you are if someone just tells you what you need to be doing. So again, compensation, collaboration, those are the top two ways, in my opinion, to help retain teachers in the short term.
Thank you. Calvin, what do you believe the schools should do to retain highly effective teachers?
I'm just glad I get to go last this time. Honestly, I couldn't agree more with everyone. I mean, we touched on a lot of things. The consistent is compensation. What frustrates me about that is I did this a year ago. I sat right here. I think we're off a day. I think it was the 5th last year. Yeah, anyway. I know, I looked at you. You're the numbers girl. We talked about facilities, we talked about teacher compensation a year ago, and we're still here. And that is frustrating because I know everyone on the board, and they're really amazing people, and I know they care. So we're missing something. It's fine for everyone to say we need to pay teachers more money, but I don't hear anyone telling me how we're going to do that. And I haven't seen the budget. Andrew's been privy to that. I haven't gotten to see it. But there's a reason why the money's not there. When the superintendent's submitting that budget for the board to look at, I look forward to seeing it. Secondly, support staff. I really got angry recently when I heard we don't pay people that work at our school minimum wage. And just because we can do that doesn't mean it's the right thing to do. I know someone who works in food at William Lynch, and they've talked about carrying boxes of frozen food upstairs. They're earning a better wage than minimum wage. So So that's something along with teacher salary that needs to be looked at. Furthermore, our school district has to be a better district to work in than Rollo or Licking. And I'm open to any and all ideas. I really like Marjorie's idea about exit interviews. If you want to know why people are unhappy, ask them. So let's find out. I think it's Eminence is on a 4-day school week now, which is treacherous for a lot of parents because of childcare, but schools are trending that direction. We're going to have to deal with that. If it will help us retain and keep quality educators, I'm all for it. People deal with childcare issues through summer as well. So, if the teachers are in favor of it, we need to listen. So, I really, we've talked about communication, listening. That's exactly what we need to do. Everyone's right. We lose a lot of good people, and it really bothers me. And, I'll do whatever I can to contribute to putting a stop to that.
Thank you. Thank you all for your insightful answers. So we're going to start with our closing statements. Marjorie, we'll start with you.
The school board is a place where public trust is paramount because it involves decisions about our children. Those making the decision should be as well informed as possible. Decisions should be well researched, especially when it comes to hiring personnel. The public should feel welcome to attend any school board meeting. Their questions should be answered with courtesy and accuracy, and I think it's a problem that the boardroom is so small because it really causes people to feel like, they don't want to come and crowd in and that there are too many of them there. I think that board meeting held in a little bit larger space, even if it's a classroom, that people need to feel welcome and they need to feel that there's a place for them to be heard. The position on the board should be taken very seriously. Board training should be taken as it's offered by the Missouri School Board Association, and the board should be among the best learners in the district. The school board should be among the best learners in the district. They're accountable to the public, and they should never forget that fact.
Thank you. Andrew?
To wrap up, again, thank you, friends of William Lynch, for putting this on, as painful as it is for all of us. No, we do appreciate it, and it's a good thing. I appreciate the support that, granted me the opportunity to currently be on the board. I'm hopeful for support moving forward from our community. I thoroughly enjoy it. I'm vested in this district. I care. I don't think anybody here doesn't care, but they wouldn't be here. But yeah, I just appreciate your support moving forward.
Thank you. Brett?
So I want to echo Andrew. I thank you guys for putting this on, and as uncomfortable as I've been this entire time. I like most people here. I think there's good folks on this panel. Our candidates, we all have a lot in common. We have a lot of the same views, beliefs. I don't think we're going to go wrong, with any choices here. But thank you guys for doing what you're doing. Andrew, thank you for serving on the board and being such a big part of the community. That being said, I've never been on the board. I don't know what it's like. I've got tidbits of information here and there, but I'm prepared and excited to serve if that's where I get to go. If not, that's okay too. But I am, as most of these people are, vested. I have 3 kids in the district, and I want what's best for them. Not only for my children, but for all the children that are in this district. The kids coming from the R schools, I was one of them R school kids, and that's a challenge. not sure if it's as big a challenge now as it used to be, but it used to be a pretty big challenge. And but I'm thankful for it. So that being said, I appreciate any support that I can get, and like I said, I don't think you can go wrong with anybody else either, though. So thank you guys.
Thank you. Drew?
So, in closing, and I will keep this short. You know, as everyone else here, I'm deeply rooted in this community. I have a very vested interest in the success of R-80 School District and its students for so very many reasons. And I just, want to say that as a board member, if elected to serve, I will prioritize budget, personnel, and policy decisions that are centered around student achievement. And supporting our teachers and staff because they are directly related and it impacts all of us in the long run. So in closing, I would appreciate your vote on April 4th. Thank you.
Thanks. Calvin?
Yeah, thank you to everyone. And I really agree with you, Brett. I don't think anybody's going to get it wrong. Lots of good people here. I wish Greg could have been here tonight. I would say this is a huge decision, but honestly, I truly believe with the quality we have here, I feel really good whether I win or lose. You've got a tough choice, and I hope that everybody watching prays about it, gives careful thought, and goes with their heart, and best of luck, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Brian?
Well, I appreciate you guys putting this on, and just let everybody know I'll fight for every kid up here in the district. I'll fight for every teacher, and I would appreciate your vote.
Thank you. Again, we do thank all of you for participating and appreciate you taking the time to join us. A special thanks to KSMO Media for streaming the event and providing the equipment, as well as Salem Community Center at the Armory for the meeting space. Friends of William Lynch reminds you to vote April 4th. Good night.